Way back in 2017, we took our first steps onto one of Saturn's moons, Titan. A city placed on top of a methane sea, Titan was a fan-favorite location, and in Season of the Deep, we finally got to explore one of the most intriguing parts of the zone, the New Pacific Arcology, one of the great cities of humanity's golden age. The premise of the Ghost of the Deep dungeon is that Sloan, who we reunited with this season, witnessed a Lucent Hive ship dive purposely straight into the methane sea, which probably is not great for us. So we drop into the arcology on what might be the only grass that exists on all of Titan and disrupt a hive ritual before moving deeper. And I mean deeper. We dive and dive and dive and dive and dive, eventually reaching the seafloor where we find the Lucent Hive ship, and we fight a hive lightbearer named Ekthar. And on the other side of the ship, we fight Simuma Urunakru, Lucent Necromancer, and who is that? Who I think it is? Yeah, that's Oryx, or at least his remains, still frozen in the same position we saw him floating away from the Dreadnought in, apparently having been here at the bottom of the sea since. With that, everything comes into place. It's now obvious that the ritual was for resurrecting Oryx himself as a Lightbearer. We cannot allow that to happen. So we take down Simuma along with her helper knight Vorlog. And on the surface level, that's the story of the dungeon, but the beautiful thing about the Ghosts of the Deep is that it goes much deeper than that. Deeper in 3 different directions, in fact. The first is a nice nod to longtime fans, as these Lucent bosses, Ekthar, Vorlog, Simuma, are ones we fought and killed before, only now they've been resurrected as Lightbearers. Ekthar we hunted down on the Dreadnought. Vorlog was a boss in the Court of Oryx, and Simuma, well, she was a disciple of Nokris. Nokris, son of Oryx, who was a hive leader that had a unique specialty, necromancy. Kinda makes sense why she's the one who was sent now, huh? Seemingly, this is what the Lucent Brood has been up to since at least Season of the Plunder, which is the last time they had any plot relevancy at all. So it's kinda stellar to see these lads getting some more attention. The second way lore gets deeper here is with the armor of the Taken King set. The story here takes place after our events in the dungeon. These lore pieces talk about the Guardian Fenchurch on a team of Ikoras hidden as they analyze the remains of Oryx. And weirdly enough, the team describes the body as still active. It is teeming with darkness and Taken energy. Something very unsettling for sure, and the fire team report recommends that corpse be destroyed, but somehow I feel like that solution makes a little too much sense to keep things interesting, especially with those recent discoveries. I don't think they would have said any of this if that wasn't going to be relevant sometime in the semi-near future. Last but not least is the collectibles. These calcified fragments, like we were hunting down way back in the Taken King, these give us one of our first direct looks into the character of Xivu Arath. It's a first-person account as she reconciles with losing her brother and her sister, giving us perspective on events we've experienced in the past decade from her point of view. You should make sure you listen to these because...
And his killers have not assumed the mantle of the Taken King! Blasphemy! Blasphemy!
There's a certain intensity to them that you need to hear. One of the best voice acting performances this game has ever had. All in all, this is easily my favorite dungeon yet. The only knocks I have against this dungeon are 1. How spongy the bosses are, and 2. The length of the walking section between the first and second encounter. That shit takes like 10 goddamn minutes. I could do Shattered Throne in the time it takes me to walk between those encounters. And unfortunately, those 2 reasons really hurt the replayability of this dungeon. I love this dungeon thematically, mechanically, but it's probably not one I'm going to sit down and just play for the hell of it. Once I finish up that solo flawless, I am probably good. But like I said, I love the mechanics in this dungeon. I think it's a step up from the connect the dots of Spire, and it's fast enough to get to damage phase where you don't get bored during it. Everything is hectic and chaotic and fun, at least in the encounters. And the aesthetics of this dungeon are just unmatched. Anyway, any dungeon that was located on a Titan was easily going to find a place in my heart. As for the loot, the armor looks beautiful, shades amazingly. The guns are hit or miss, right? The first stasis waveframe grenade launcher is awesome, and the bait and switch stasis rocket launcher with Envious, very good. All in all, S tier dungeon. And that's it for today. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe down below, and I'll see you all next time.